Mind you, I thought he was a stalker at this point for the plot, okay? Bro, we have not even FaceTime, talked on the phone, nothing. That's kind of psycho, if you ask me. Okay, that's cute and cozy. But it is, what's up you guys? Today I had to use a ring light and I can't stand it. It's been getting dark so early now. I literally have no time for anything. Anyways, this is gonna be a story time vid. So you guys really liked like my breakup video and you guys requested more story time vids, so I'm gonna give them to you. This video you could like literally put on while you're like cleaning the house. You could put on your headphones while you're going for a walk. I hope I remember everything because it was kind of a while ago. You guys wanted to hear the story of the time I was dating two guys at the same time. And just to clarify, when you're like casually dating, this tends to happen a lot. It's not like I had like two boyfriends at the same time. Keep that in mind. Little disclaimer, okay? Like, I didn't have two boyfriends at the same time, but it was like damn near close. I've been like sharing so much tea on the internet lately and I realized how fucking messy my life is, and like I never realized it because I'm just like, whatever, la la la. So now I'm like, okay, my life is low-key kind of messy. Whatever, so let's get into it. First things first, this was maybe like 2 or 3 years back. Oh wait, no, I was still in my last apartment. Okay, so I was still in my last apartment, so that means it was let's say 2.5 years ago. So I met the first guy. Shit, who did I meet first? Bachelor number 1. I'm not gonna say his name. Let's give him a fake name. Let's call him like Sean. We met on the internet. First and foremost, we followed each other on Instagram. I don't know who followed who first. I think he followed me first and then I ended up following him back. He was like a cutesy like fashion dude. I was like, oh, he has good outfits, whatever, I'll follow him back. Like, I didn't think much of it at the time, and he started liking all my stories, like literally no matter what the fuck I would post. And I think this was when like liking stories was still a new thing on Instagram. He was liking every single one of my stories. No matter what the fuck I posted, he would like it. So I guess that's how he like got my attention. Like, men used to go to war. Now men like your stories to get your attention. Like, and he started like replying to all my stories like with like heart eyes or like fire emojis or whatever, and I would just like double tap it. I'll be like, oh, thank you, or like, I don't know, like we didn't really talk much. Like, it was really just like little interactions. He started like kind of like weaseling his way into my life. I'm trying to remember, maybe I should check. Wait, actually I don't know, I'm kind of scared to check. Also, I don't know if I even have our convo still on Instagram. I am kind of curious though. Let's see. Wait, his account doesn't even come up anymore. Does that mean I'm blocked, or does that mean he deleted his Instagram? I don't fucking know. But anyways, basically we met on Instagram. He ended up sliding my DMs and we started like kind of talking on DMs. So at some point I started like entertaining it and I was like, okay, whatever. So we're kind of like going back and forth a little bit, like nothing crazy. And then he's like, oh, I'm coming to New York. And I was like, where the fuck are you even from? Like, I thought you were in New York. And he's from all the way across the country. Okay, so he doesn't even live in New York. He lives all the way on the West Coast. So I was just like, I'm not even gonna take him seriously because I mean, I wasn't even interested, mind you. I still was not even interested at this point. I was just like entertaining it just to entertain it, like for the plot. Okay, so he was like, I'm coming to New York, you know, maybe we could like hang out or whatever. So I was just like, okay, like if you're in New York, like I wouldn't mind, like, you know, you could take me out, like we could do something or whatever. He books his B&B, books his flight, everything, and he comes to New York for the first time. This is our first time meeting, and we went to a movie. So I had a doctor's appointment that day, I remember, and then he picked me up from the doctor's appointment, and that was our first time meeting. Bro, we have not even FaceTime, talked on the phone, nothing, and he came all the way to New York. Come to find out, he had no business being in New York. He came to New York just to see me, and I'm like, that's kind of psycho if you ask me. Like, we've never spoken on the phone, we never FaceTime. I never really showed him much interest either, so I was given obsessed, and that kind of stuff kind of creeps me out. I know some girls could see it as like, oh, that's so romantic, but I'm like, that's kind of just doing a lot, and it kind of gives like love bombing. It would be different if we like knew each other and we liked each other and he's like, okay, I'm gonna come see you, and it's like, oh my god, yay. But like, we didn't know each other at that point. I didn't know he came all the way to New York just to see me until like after our first date. So let me rewind. So then our first date, we went to the movies. He picked me up for my doctor's appointment. We went to the movies. I got a coffee because I was feeling like kind of sleepy that day, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna fall asleep in the movie theater. I'm not a movie person, by the way. He bought me a coffee and I was like, okay, that's cute. I don't know why I thought that was cute. That was like literally the smallest little whatever. We went to a really fucking nice movie theater in like Midtown Manhattan, and it was like super bougie, super nice. It wasn't like the really cramped like AMC's or whatever. It was like a nice movie theater, and we saw, I think we saw Avatar, because the second Avatar had just came out, and it was cute. Like I was like, he's very like gentlemanly. He like pays for everything. Like he makes sure I'm good. He opens the doors. He's like, oh, do you want a snack? Do you want a drink? Do you want to, you know, blah 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 blah. And it's like bare minimum shit. But mind you, men from New York, they literally are below bare minimum. Like they're literally under the dirt. Like things like this to me are like, oh, that's cutesy. Mind you, I was younger at this time too, so maybe I'm gassing it, but whatever. I thought he was very sweet. I think he had like a very like nice personality. Like he was like a good boy, pretty much. Like that's the best way I could explain it. He's a good boy, and I'm like, this boy is probably good for me because he's just a good ass kid. Like he's a good kid. Okay, I think we watched the movie and then we went out to dinner afterwards. So he's like, oh, I know a spot. And I love when men know a spot. Like that's so attractive. I hate when a guy's like, I don't know, like dude, like where should we go? I love when man's like, yes, I know where to take you. Like I know a spot and it's good as fuck and we're gonna go. And I'm like, okay, period. I guess I like when men take charge. We went to an Italian restaurant. It was fancy. It was the type of Italian restaurant where I don't know what the fuck is on the menu, and I ended up getting a fucking mushroom like squid type of weird ass dish, and like no tea no shade, it's just not my cup of tea. And we got wine. He got a whole bottle of wine. I was like, ooh. Yeah, we were like drinking. He's like, do you want anything else? Like, do you want more wine? Do you want more of this? Do you want a dessert? Blah blah blah. And I love a man who's willing to spend on a first date, because most guys be stingy as fuck. Like when the waiter comes around talking about, would you like to see the dessert menu? Guys be like, no, they check. Damn, can I even answer? What if I want dessert? Basically, we had a really good first date. I did like his vibe. He's very much into fashion. He's a fashion boy, and at that time that's kind of what I like was into. He had like a cute little fit on. He had his hair braided, fresh braids, fresh haircut, everything. Like I was really like impressed with him, and I was kind of feeling him at the time. And then he's like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, oh, you know, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, so he's like, can I see you tomorrow? And I'm just like, oh, like didn't you have like plans, or like didn't you want to like see the city? Like didn't you have something to do? And he's like, no. He's like, I don't really have any plans. I really just came to see you. So that's when I was like, huh? Like I was just like, really? Because I was just like, that's cute and all, but like, you know, you already know. And I was like, okay, well, like I will feel bad if you came all the way over here and I just like, you know, abandoned you. Oh, hold on, rewind for a second, because I remember after the dinner date, his Airbnb was in Brooklyn and I lived in Brooklyn at the time. We were on the train going back home, and he was like, oh, like do you want me to drop you off? And I was like, no, like I'm fine. But mind you, I was still new to the area, so, and I was like, no, I'm good, because mind you, I thought he was a stalker at this point. So I was like, I don't really need him knowing where I live. We were on the train, and girl, tell me why that day it was full to the brim with crackheads, girl. Like there was so many crackheads on the train, on the fucking platform, on the everything. So I was just like, actually, do you mind walking me home? Because bitch, I got scared. Mind you, I was still new to Brooklyn at this point, so now I'm like, whatever, I'll fight a crackhead, fuck it. But back then I was scared. So I was like, oh, can you actually do me a favor? And he's like, oh, do you want me to walk you home? And I was like, yes. I was like, yes, please. So and he did walk me to my door, and he gave me a hug. He didn't try to kiss me, he didn't try to come in my apartment, none of that. So I was like, okay, he's gentlemanly, like that's sweet of him, whatever. So the next day we planned to go to a museum. We planned to have a museum date, because I was like, oh, if you're in New York, you know, you should do like the touristy thing. He picked me up from my apartment, and then we went to his Airbnb. Like I think he had to change, or like, oh, I think he wanted to change his shoes, I don't know, something. Like he wanted to change something about his outfit, so he's like, okay, we just stop at my B&B, like it's not far from here. And I was like, okay, whatever. We went to his B&B, and I was like, honestly, like do you have something I could change into? Because I was wearing these really tight jeans, and I was like not feeling it. I was like, ugh, if I wear these all day I'm gonna be uncomfortable. So he gave me a pair of sweats, he changed his outfit, we went to the museum, we walked around, we took pictures. He took a picture of like our shoes, and he posted it into his story, and I was just like, bro, are you in love with me or something? Like what is it giving? And we had a really good second date too, so I was feeling him. I think after the second date he started spending the nights at my place, because I don't know, I just liked him, so I wanted to spend as much time as possible with him before he, you know, flew back. He was like very much that type of guy who like loves to help. Like he's a helpful person, and that's really one of the characteristics I like in a man. Like I love helpful as men. I hate useless men. I love when men are like, oh, can I grab that for you? Do you want me to hold your bag? Like, oh, is that heavy? Like I could take that. Oh, do you need help with this? Do you need help finding that? Do you need an Uber? Do you need a ride? Do you need you want me to walk you home? You need, you know, I love helpful ass men. I just liked having him around the house. I don't know, like he cooked for us. Mind you, I have roommates. I don't know, he was just like such a sweet person. So he ends up flying back to California, and we stay in touch, obviously, because at this point he's in love with me, and at this point I do like him. So he's like texting me all day every day, FaceTiming me all day every day. I guess it's a situationship at that point. Definitely not a relationship, but definitely a situationship, because we're just talking all the time and FaceTiming literally every single night. I still feel like I'm a single woman, so I'm still on the dating app, still, you know, putting myself out there, because I'm just like, you know, we live on opposite sides of the country. In what world is this gonna work? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cute for now, I'm entertaining it for now, but I'm keeping my options open, as I do. Then I end up meeting this boy on Hinge, and you guys already know that story. So pretty much the boy on Hinge is my ex. I did end up meeting them so close in time, definitely the same month, maybe a few weeks apart or something like that, but I definitely met them very close in time to each other. So then I started seeing my ex, who at the time, like, I didn't think we were ever gonna be together. I was like, whatever, we're like just going on a date, we're just talking, like it's really not much to it or whatever, because I'm more so into the other guy. So I'm pretty much seeing both of them at the same time. So after he left for California, I think that's when I had my first date with my ex. Okay, so that was Sean. This could be Paul. Yeah, so me and Paul start seeing each other. He's in New York, so we're able to see each other a lot more. I forgot to throw in too, before the first guy, Sean, left back home, I told him very deliberately, I was like, I'm still gonna see other people. I don't mind if you see other people, but I just want you to know that I am gonna be seeing other people, because I don't consider us in a relationship, and I don't want to give you the wrong impression, or I don't want you to feel misled. Like, obviously I said it in a nice way. I wasn't just like, boy, like, I don't like you. Like, I was just like trying to be very like open and communicative with him, communicative, whatever that word is, and just being like transparent. I was trying to be very transparent, because I'm like, the last thing I want is to like hurt somebody. Like, I don't want to hurt him, so I want to be honest with him from the beginning. Like, you know, like, yes, I had a good time with you, but I am still gonna be seeing other people. And he was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be seeing other people because I really like you. And I was like, ugh, I mean, like, that's nice and sweet and all, but I'm just like, you know, I'm seeing other people. Like like, I feel like you should do the same, buddy, but if you don't want to, that's your prerogative. Oh my god, I come off like such a bitch, but like, I have feelings, I swear. So then fast forward, back in New York, scrolling on Hinge or whatever, and I end up matching with this boy. And yes, this boy is my ex, and we start talking, we arrange our date, and you guys already know this story, like I told you guys in my last story time. But in case you guys are new here, so me and him met on Hinge, we had a date, we went out for dessert. He was very late, he was very trash at the first date, and he's very weird and awkward, and you know, he's a weirdo. So at the time, I'm still feeling this guy, Sean, a lot more than this guy. So me and him still FaceTiming every night, texting every day, and then me and Paul are just dating very casually. We were not on a weekly basis. It was just like once or twice a month, like we would go on a date or whatever. We were going out to a New Year's party, so I invited Paul. He got really fucking drunk that night too, and I had to take care of him, which was like such an ick, but whatever. It ended up bonding us because he was throwing up and I was like helping him. Me and Sean were still FaceTiming every night, and he's planning his next trip to see me. So me and Paul keep dating casually for the next about 3 months. He's taking me out, he's taking me to really nice restaurants, he took me on a boat, like we hung out on his birthday. So we're dating casually, but it's starting to get some momentum, I guess. And then me and Sean are still FaceTiming and stuff, and he's over here planning his next trip to New York. So I'm just like, ah, fuck, I got myself in a fucking pickle. I didn't tell Sean about Paul, even though when he was still in New York, I did tell him I was seeing other people. I just wasn't super forthcoming, like, hey, yeah, there's this other guy, like his name is Paul, like, and I'm talking to him, and he, like, I pretty much just left it at that. I was in the midst of moving, so that means it was March when he came for the second time. So he flew out to New York for the second time to see me, and like to help me also pack and things like that. Like I said, he's super helpful, and I really admired that part about him. So he was helping me pack up everything in my apartment. He's big and he's strong, and he's like so attractive to me at this point, whatever. So I'm just like, damn, like it was pretty much gotten to the point where I'm like juggling both of them in my head, and I'm like, I like both of them. Like, ugh, maybe I like him a little more, maybe I like him a little bit more. He has some characteristics, he has some characteristics, characteristics, and it's pretty much like back and forth in my head. I'm like, who do I like more? Who do I want to be with? Do I want to be with any of them at this point, or do I want to just like be with none of them? I don't fucking know. Once again, we hung out. I think his friends were in New York at that point too, so I got to meet his friends. He met my siblings and they got along, and those type of things are important to me. So I was just like, okay, like he got some points, you know. Sean is kind of winning on this side, Paul is kind of slacking, but okay. Yeah, we once again had a good time while he was in New York, and then he flies back to California again. So once he leaves, me and Paul, you know, we're still doing our thing, still getting to know each other, and like we're still very much on a casual basis. So I feel like Sean is applying more pressure, while Paul is just like la-di-da. He's like, I'm not looking for a relationship. He's pretty casual, he's pretty chill, he's pretty nonchalant. So I'm not thinking much of him at this point. Like pretty much he has all the brownie points and he's just kind of there. So then Sean starts planning a vacation for us, because he's like, you know, like we've been talking for a few months, I really like you, I've never been on a vacation with someone, so he's like, we can go on a trip together. And I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah. I was like, why not? I never been on a vacation at that point, so I was just like, yeah, that would be like something like new for both of us, because he's never been on a vacation either. So he's like, yeah, like I've never just been like on a trip with like my girl. So he starts planning everything. Mind you, I'm still in school during this. Me being in school and being very stressed during finals and things like that like puts a lot of weight on our relationship, because we are long distance, and like yes, we're not in like a relationship, but like we have a relationship, you know, and we're trying to like stay in touch with each other, stay like communicating with each other. He's kind of asking me a lot of questions like, oh, where do you want to go, like what do you want to do, like we need to start planning, we need to book our flights, we need to book our Airbnb, blah blah blah. Kind of starting to be like a lot for me, and I'm just like, bro, I'm in school right now, I'm in finals, like I'm stressed the fuck out. You asking me questions every 5 minutes is not helping me. And I did feel bad, but it was starting to be too much. Like he was putting too much on me, and he was kind of having like really high expectations of me, when I told him from the jump, like we're not in a relationship, so you doing all this and all that extra shit is kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of too much pressure. I feel like that put like a weird like vibe in the air, because we started like fighting a lot about that. I told you he was FaceTiming me every day, and then he starts FaceTiming me like multiple times a day. Anytime he got free time, he would FaceTime me, and he barely fucking worked, which was such an ick for me. Another thing, guys, side note, but men are so fucking misleading, because when I first met him, I thought he was someone who had his shit together. I thought he was someone who had a good job. I thought he was someone who made good money, and like he was grown and mature, because mind you, he was older than me. So he was 27 at the time. I think I was like 24, because this was a while ago. I was just like, okay, he's grown, he got his shit together. Come to find out, he barely fucking works, because all he wants to do is FaceTiming me every 5 fucking minutes, and then he would get butthurt if I don't answer. Like, sorry, I have shit to do. And I would get butthurt if he called me too much, because I'm just like, oh, you're annoying me now. I get annoyed very easily, y'all. I'm definitely someone who needs my space. I need my alone time, I need my quiet time, like I need my me time. Like I can't be with a clingy man, because I'm not a clingy girl, so I cannot be with a clingy man. It will just not work. I went the fuck off on him. I was like, bro, if you don't leave me the fuck alone, like I want to go on this trip with you, but I have a lot of shit on my plate right now. I'm working, I'm in school, I'm doing an internship, I'm making money, I live on my own, like, you know, it's like I have a lot of shit on my plate right now, and you are just doing the absolute most, and it's driving me fucking crazy. So you need to calm down, like you need to chill out. You're doing too much. We started having like this weird tension between us, and I know it's the distance, because I feel like anytime you're in a long distance relationship, this is how it is. You guys just like get mad at each other for like little things. So yeah, the distance made the vibe kind of like funky at that point. I ended up finishing my semester, and then we're like, okay, let's go on the trip. Mind you, Paul is still over here thinking everything is hunky-dory, thinking, you know, we're vibing, we're chilling and vibing, and we are chilling and vibing, but like not to this extent. You know what I mean? Like we have our own thing going on, but I'm over here planning a vacation with this man. So yeah, I finished my semester and we end up going on our vacation. I'm vlogging everything, I'm taking pictures, we're taking pictures together. I start posting him on social media, and we become very public with our relationship. And this is so messy on my part, but yeah, I do have a vlog up. If you guys are nosy and you want to see what's tea, like we do have a vlog up together. Oh, hold on, wait, I missed a big detail. So right before our trip, right before our trip, I literally forgot this in my brain. Right before our trip, he sees a picture of me and Paul, he sees us together in a picture, I think on Twitter or something like that. I don't know, but we were together and I was tagged in something, and like me and him were together, whatever. So then the vibe with me and Sean was already funky. So then once he saw the picture of me and Paul, he was like not having it. He felt such a way about it. He was so sick. He was punching the air. He was like everything. So at this point now, Sean knows about Paul, but Paul does not know about Sean. So Sean does confront me, little old me, in the middle. And he's like, who is this guy? Are y'all like hooking up? He's like, I don't care. Which at this point, I know he's lying because he does care. I don't care, like it doesn't bother me. I'm like, first of all, it does fucking bother you. And it's really bothering me that you're not being honest with your feelings. At that point, obviously, I was being honest. Like I had to come clean and I was just like, yeah, like I've been seeing him in New York, whatever. But it bothered me that like I'm over here being so honest and open and vulnerable with you. Like obviously, that's not something I want to talk about, but I know it's something I have to talk about. But he can't do the same for me. After I was like, hey, like I'm gonna see other people, he was like, oh, that's fine, like that doesn't bother me. So now that I'm seeing other people, now you mad? Like you had your chance to say, oh, I don't like you seeing other people. And it's like, I get it, maybe feelings have changed or whatever, but I'm like, I told you from the beginning, not in a relationship. I don't want a relationship right now. So I was just like honest with him. Obviously I understand that, like, you know, it hurts because we've obviously grown more feelings, but I was trying to be as honest with him from the beginning as I possibly could. So for him to now be like shocked that I'm seeing other people, I'm like, I'm sorry, but like I told you from the beginning I'm seeing other people. So he was like pretty butthurt about that, and like I did feel bad at that point because, you know, me and him have grown in our relationship. To be fair, he had many chances to tell me like, oh, I don't want you seeing other people, but we've never had that talk. So we didn't even have a fight about it. He was kind of just like, no, it's fine. And I hate when men get like that, because it's like, if it's not fine, then why can't you talk about it, you big ass baby? I'm just like, I need my man to like stand on business. Like if you want to be with me, say you want to be with me. If you want me to be with no one else, then say that. But no, he's just like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, because he doesn't want to like be vulnerable. So I'm just like, ugh, okay, then if you say it's fine, then it's fine. Like gosh, guys, like I cannot with these men. And we move on. So at this point, Sean knows about Paul, but Paul does not know about Sean. And me and Sean move forward with our vacation because, you know, we already planned everything was already booked, and Sean just acts like everything is fine. He actually comes to New York first, I think like a week before our vacation. So this is important. And then we went on the trip, so we were on the flight together and everything, and then we were there I think another like 5 days or something. So we spent a total of like 15 days together, all day every day, 15 days in a row together. Mind you, this is not my man. He's my man who's not my man. So spending 15 days with someone is really, really, really eye-opening, and it's really, really fucking draining. I'm someone with a really, really short social battery, so it was kind of a lot for me. It started off fine. Like our trip was cute, it was fine. And at that point, we're posting things on social media. I'm posting him, he's posting me, we're taking pics together, pretty much going out to dinner every day, exploring every day. We ended up going to Mexico. We were in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It was so beautiful, very romantic, and it was very cutesy. Like I said, we were very public, so obviously now that me and Sean had a hard launch on social media, obviously now Paul knows. So now Paul is sick as fuck. Because basically both of these men were dating little old me, and neither of them knew about each other. It was messy because both of them had feelings for me, and to be fair, I did have feelings for both of them too. And I tried to be honest with both of them. You know, this one, freaking Paul, said he didn't want a relationship, so I was like, okay, fine. And then Sean, like I feel like he was more into me, but I told him I didn't want a relationship. I tried to maneuver this situation the best way I could. I know I was probably in the wrong for what I was doing, but I was trying to do it the best way I could. I was trying to be honest, I was trying to be transparent, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with dating two people at once. It's just when it gets to this level, when you're talking every day and you're like going on vacations together, that's when it's kind of like questionable. Like now it's getting a little serious. That was my fault. I should have just ended things with Paul when, you know, me and Sean were getting more serious or whatever. So that was just a mess. I was 24, like not that that's like an excuse, but like I was 24 and I was just living my best life in my 20s, you know. I was just being messy. So at this point, we're in Mexico, and I start to notice that he's more withdrawn from me. Like our first trip, he was so obsessed with me. He was so in love with me. He was so like touchy-feely, lovey-dovey and things like that. And then in Mexico, that's what I expected, and he was very withdrawn. He was very emotionally distant, he was very physically distant, and we didn't have intimacy. Like we didn't have like we had no physical connection. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because I'm just like, at that point, obviously I feel like he was my man and Paul wasn't. So I was just like, you know, was he like, yeah, I was seeing someone else, which sounds crazy to be fair. Like obviously I'm here with you, like I like you, I want to be with you, I want to be here. So at that point it was really hurting me that he was being distant, even though like obviously it's my fault, like I know that. But at that point I was just like, you said everything was fine, like you said it wasn't bothering you, so now for you to act a different way, like your actions are not matching up with your words. Like why say it's fine and then act like shit is not fine, you know what I mean? So I was very like just in the dark. I was confused. I was like, what's the problem? Like you're being so distant from me, like this is not like us. Like we're usually good when we're together. Like yeah, we be having problems when we're like distant and we're on FaceTime, and you know we argue a lot on FaceTime, but I'm like, usually when we're together we're good. So I'm like, what is the problem? And he was like, no, like nothing, like like sometimes I'm just like not in the mood. And I'm like, how that makes sense? Because when we were in New York you was always in the mood, and now all of a sudden we're in this romantic tropical vacation and you talking about you not in the mood. So I start thinking like, oh, like maybe he doesn't find me attractive anymore. Obviously as a woman you start thinking it's you. So I was like really down on myself, and I was like, you know, why like doesn't he like me anymore? Why doesn't he find me attractive anymore? Why doesn't he want to like be physical anymore? So it really hurt me, because at this point, like, you know, I know you guys are probably like, duh, you stupid bitch, you're dating someone else. But at this point me and Paul haven't talked, and also we haven't been serious at all. I was definitely more serious with Sean. So I'm just like, you're gonna let just some guy I was talking to casually like fuck up our relationship? The whole trip was super weird. Like I don't know, it was just very like uncomfy. We were not on the same page, we were not really like communicating and stuff. We weren't like fighting a lot. He was still very good to me on the trip, of course. He's a very sweet person. Finally we start to like open up about it, and he's like, well yeah, like once I found out that you were like seeing someone else, like that kind of like closed me off to you. Like I was kind of closed off from you. And I was just like, bruh, you said you was fine. I told you from the beginning I'm seeing other people because we're long distance, because we're not in a relationship, you know. I was transparent from the beginning. So I'm just like, you said it was fine. Even when you found out about Paul, you said it was fine. So why all of a sudden it's not fine anymore? And I'm like, it makes sense. How he felt makes sense. What I was mad about is the fact that he couldn't communicate it to me. And I thought that was very like immature of him, because I know like it's not his fault, and how he felt is perfectly valid. Like it's so valid, and I don't want to like badmouth him at all, because you know probably I was the one in the wrong. But I was very frustrated at the fact that he couldn't communicate it to me. He couldn't be honest with me. He couldn't be transparent with me. He couldn't just tell me what the fuck was the problem. Instead, he made me feel like I'm the problem, like I'm not good enough, he doesn't like me anymore. I was really hard on myself, and I was very like insecure at that time, because I was just like, damn, like he used to like really like me, and now all of a sudden he doesn't like me. Like I was very hurt about that. And whole time you were just insecure because of old boy that I wasn't even fazed about. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, all that, I don't know, I was just so insecure back then. Like now I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If a man don't want me, okay, that's his problem. But back then, like it did affect me a lot more. And he's like, yeah, like, you know, once I found out, like I just kind of was like shut off to the whole situation, and like blah blah blah. I'm like, so why didn't you fucking say that? Why didn't you fucking say that, bro? Like, oh, that pissed me off so bad. So it just like everything went downhill after that. I don't know, I think I just didn't want to be with someone who couldn't be honest with me, someone who couldn't communicate with me. I was just kind of like over it at this point. Kind of like wasn't feeling him anymore, he wasn't feeling me anymore. Like it was just like a really sour situation at that point. So once he went back to California, like we still were like on FaceTime, and we would still text each other, but it got to a point where I was just like, we can't do this anymore. Like this is not going anywhere, this is super pointless. To be realistic, it's just not gonna work. And he was just like, yeah, no, like I see that, like I get it, like same, like it's not working for me, it's not working for you. So we just kind of like ended it. It wasn't that amicable though. Amicable? It wasn't that oh my god, that word is hard to say. It wasn't that amicable because we did get in a big ass fight. I was just like, yeah, this shit is not fucking working. Like, it wasn't working, and he's like, yeah, it's not fucking working. So we had a big blowout fight about it, and then we stopped talking. And then what, now that I think about it, Sean and Paul did the same thing after we broke up. So after me and Sean stopped talking, he went on Instagram and posted a picture of him kissing another girl with his whole tongue out, looking mad fucking sus. He had his whole tongue out in the camera, tongue kissing a girl, and posted it to his public story. And mind you, at this time I had him muted because after I break up with someone, I don't want to see their shit. I don't care what they're doing in life. I don't care if they're doing good. I don't care if they're doing bad. I don't want to see it. So I had muted him because I didn't want to unfollow him because I felt like that was immature, but I muted him so I wouldn't see his story. So tell me why my brother had to be the one to tell me. He's like, oh, did you see the story? Like, what did you feel about that? I was like, what the fuck is this bitch posting? Oh my god, I said his name. Did you see Sean's story? Like, how do you feel about that? I was like, what story? I was like, what the fuck is he posting? So I went to go look, and sure enough, it was him tongue kissing the next girl. It didn't bother me that he was kissing another girl. What bothered me was that he literally did it deliberately to make me mad. It's the immaturity for me. The immatureness really freaking gets under my skin. You be kissing the next girl, having with the next girl, I don't give a fuck. But as soon as you post it to the public, knowing damn well I had just posted a vlog with you to the public, and now you're posting this to the public to try to make me look bad, to try to make me look stupid. I will never be okay with that. Publicly, bro. I'm not a crash out bitch, but I crashed out a little bit, like a smidge. I just like unfollowed him on everything. Like, I blocked his number. I was just like, bro, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're so embarrassing. I'm not even embarrassed for me at this point. I'm embarrassed for you because you're embarrassing. After that happened, me and him crashed out. We were done. We wanted nothing to do with each other. Like, we were like, it was nothing more to it. I never seen or heard from him ever again. I tried to look up his Instagram just now and it doesn't even exist. So he just like fell off the face of the earth. I was really sad when we broke up, and I did cry when we broke up just because I don't know, I guess I saw potential in him. I guess I was attached to him because we did talk every day. I like cried for like 2 days or something, and I was really sad. So then oh my god, bitch, I am evil. I am diabolical. So then after me and Sean fell out, then I went back to Paul. Oh my god, bitch, I am diabolical. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. But anyway, I went back to Paul and I was just like, hey. I literally remember I was just like, hi, H-I. And then he was like, hey. He was like, hey, mamas. And I'm like, ew. Don't ever say that again in your life. But I was just like, are you mad at me? This is what I said to Paul after the whole Sean situation ended. And he was just like, no, I can't be mad because this is what we agreed to. Mind you, me and Paul were in an open relationship for a long time before we closed it. At this point, we were still like just dating casually, and we did agree to see other people. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but like, yeah, like he was okay with me seeing other people. He just didn't like that I kind of had a relationship with someone else. I think we agreed to see other people casually as long as we were casual. But then when I saw Sean not so casually, it was very not casual, it was very formal. I think that's what he didn't like. So that's what he said. He was like, I can't be mad at you because this is what we agreed to. We agreed to see other people. Me and him were on the same page. Me and Sean were on the same page. But me and Paul were very much on the same page. And I was just like, okay, like, you know, we could talk about it. And he was like, yeah, like, we could hang out again. We could blah, blah, blah. So, like, Paul, he's easy going. He's easy breezy. He's like, you know what? You was dating someone else. It's all right. That's nothing, you know, I'm still here for you, boo. Like, come on back. So obviously, what did I do? I went back to fucking Paul. We were in an open relationship for at least a year where we were seeing other people, and we were just like, you know, not together formally. But then after a year, we did decide to like close the relationship, and then he ended up being my boyfriend. So isn't that some shit? I was weighing both options, and I ended up with this one. We all know how that turned out, so. But I remember in my breakup video was about Paul, if you guys didn't put 2 and 2 together. That's when the problem started. So yeah, me and Paul did not fucking last. We're not together, but yeah, I was pretty much juggling both of them, and they were both very much in competition. I was like, who's gonna win? At the end, no one won, because look at me, I'm single. So in the end, I win, bitch. I have a headache from talking so much. If you guys haven't seen my breakup video, you guys could go watch that after this one, and you guys could hear all about how it went with Paul. Like, literally, it's my karma. Honestly, I deserve to get done dirty, because look at the shit I be doing. Like, I don't know what is wrong with me, y'all. I'm more grown now. We were talking about like 3 years ago. Now I don't be doing trifling ass shit. I was just messy in my early 20s, y'all. Oh yeah, and then I ended up going on vacation with Paul too. So both of them got a vacation. Everyone gets a vacation. I love you guys. Let me know if you guys want to hear any other story times. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to your girl. And I will catch you guys in the next